which pulled up the Prime Minister in a way because of why he did not, that is what the apex court said, why the Prime Minister did not respond earlier to a complaint lodged by the President of the Janata Party, Dr. Subramaniam Swamy, on this particular issue. Now, this expanded to other areas and there were insinuations, speculations, perhaps the Prime Minister was coming under attack and whether he was also involved, that these kind of questions were being raised. For a while, the Congress party was not very sure whether they should come and defend the Prime Minister or what was going to happen. But in the last few days, we've seen that they have put up a very stout defense of the Prime Minister. Dr. Manmohan Singh is one of those leaders whose image is squeaky clean. He's not only regarded as an economist, as an intellectual, but there has not been any single corruption charges ever against him. And therefore, when this came, the court's observation that the Prime Minister should have responded to the complaint earlier, and when in the fringes there were these speculations of whether the Prime Minister is coming under attack for this, the Congress party decided to move in, and right from the senior leaders, Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi and a number of others who came up and put up a stout defense of the Prime Minister, said he has done nothing wrong and there is no question of even thinking that he was in some way or the other involved in wrongdoing in this entire thing. So that is one bit. The opposition is not still happy. They are still demanding a joint parliamentary committee probe into this matter, and this issue has not died down. It is still there. What has given it a different kind of a twist is the revelation of the taped conversation of a lot of players in this scam. Interestingly, the names of some media personalities have also come into the fray, and people are talking about it, that what is the media doing? I mean, now those who are under attack have made it very clear that they were basically what a lot of journalists do. They were just talking about, trying to be a bridge between two sides, that's all. But it has left a question hanging on whether the media, the fourth estate, is being co-opted and becoming a party to these kind of controversies, and which it shouldn't be. Now, let's see, how it pans out. This is an issue which we will have to see in the coming days. One part is the Prime Minister's, as I mentioned, because the Congress party had made it very clear, and I don't even think that the opposition is going to push hard any move against Manmohan Singh, because they also regard him as a very clean, honest person. But what they will try and do in the coming days, and this is what we are likely to see, is to keep pushing for a JPC or an independent probe into this entire matter, because it's a huge money sum which is involved in it. And there are also reports that the ministry is thinking of, how to, what measures can be taken, because the companies who've been allotted these contracts, you cannot scrap them, because then it gets into litigation and a long-drawn process. It also gives India a bad image as far as foreign investors are concerned, because a lot of big companies, both Indian and outside, had invested in it. So they're trying to find a way how this can be sorted out. Maybe they'll be asked to pay extra for the contracts which were undersold to them. That's an issue which will remain for a while.
Also last week, at least 80 people were injured and nearly 70 people died when a 15-year-old building came crashing down in the evening at Lalita Park in Lakshmi Nagar in Delhi. Families of around 10 migrant laborers were believed to be staying in the building. The death toll in the East Delhi building collapse kept mounting throughout the week as rescue workers struggled to pull out those trapped in the debris of one of the worst such incidents in the capital. Police registered a case of culpable homicide not amounting to murder against the building owner Amrit Singh, but he fled along with his family soon after the 4-story building collapsed. However, later in the week, he was arrested from one of his relatives' house in the Geeta Colony area of East Delhi. Additional Deputy Commissioner of Police IB Rani mentioned that Singh was arrested under 304 IPC Act. Moreover, Delhi Chief Minister Sheila Dikshit ordered a probe into the collapse of the Lakshmi Nagar building. Dikshit reportedly said that the 6-story building was unauthorized and the government would investigate the nexus between the builder and the authorities concerned which allowed its construction. The Chief Minister also expressed sadness at the magnitude of the disaster but denied that there were any lapse or delay in the rescue and relief operations. After all the stories from India, we will now take a short break and be right back to check out more stories from across South Asia and beyond. Welcome back. And now we will check out stories from Pakistan, where Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi last week said that the PPP government was committed to offer maximum relief to the masses. He said that it is a matter of pride for the government that it launched different development projects and offered relief to the masses without any discrimination. The Foreign Minister even stated that the government has also launched Benazir Income Support Program, Smart Card and Watan Card to provide relief to the masses. Also, President Asif Ali Zardari urged the nation to help end poverty and exploitation. The President, in a message on Eid al-Azha, felicitated the Muslims throughout the world and particularly those in Pakistan, but asked the countrymen not to forget those who suffer and endure and are deprived of true joy. The President said it saddens him that so many of the people are living in despair and misery brought by unemployment, low wages or lack of justice. He urged the nation to affirm unity of action in an imperishable bond of brotherhood. But later in the week, it was Pakistan Muslim League national leader Ehsan Iqbal who criticized the PPP-led government and said that the Zardari government had broken all records of corruption and inflation in the country. In a statement, Iqbal said that the PMLQ had abandoned former President Pervez Musharraf in the same way it had left Nawaz Sharif. He claimed that the economic agenda of his party guarantees development of Pakistan. And almost 35 months after the assassination of former Prime Minister Benazir Bhutto, the Pakistan People's Party-led government submitted a report to an anti-terrorism court in Rawalpindi. The Joint Investigation Team of FIIA gave a clean chit to former President General retired Pervez Musharraf and functionaries of the then federal and provincial government, and it held the Tehreek-e-Taliban responsible for the assassination. When the flood was ravaging the country at one point, approximately 1/5 of Pakistan's total land area was underwater. Pakistan government showed that the floods directly affected about 20 million people, mostly by destruction of property, livelihood and infrastructure, with a death toll of close to 2,000. We will now check out all the flood-related updates from Pakistan in this special segment.
Prime Minister Yusuf Raza Gilani said last week that billions of dollars were required for reconstruction in Pakistan. He urged the international community to support the country so that the nation can be told that they are not dealing with the crisis alone. Gilani also stated that Pakistan has faced the destruction by the floods and terrorism both. Gilani said that the tax reforms were needed in Pakistan and added that the 18th Amendment is a revolutionary step and soon 10 ministries will be eliminated. Well, the US Special Representative for Pakistan and Afghanistan, Richard Holbrooke, announced $500 million under the Kerry-Lugar-Berman bill for the reconstruction and rehabilitation of the flood-affected areas. He also added that the US administration would try to get the legislation regarding the reconstruction opportunity zones passed from the new Congress. He strongly urged the representatives from around 30 countries and 5 international institutions to assist Pakistan. And it was Pakistan's ambassador to the United States, Hussein Haqqani, who called for great American public support for the country's flood victims. Haqqani made an impassioned appeal to back recovery efforts for flood victims to a gathering of American citizens, congressional staffers and Pakistani Americans. The ambassador appreciated that the US government had allocated nearly $490 million towards flood relief. However, he stressed that Pakistan's flood victims would still need a lot of support from individual donors and private charitable institutions in the United States. Europe Aid Director for Asia and Central Asia Dirk McGang has vowed that European Union will continue its support for combating rising food prices and ensuring food security in Pakistan. McGang lauded the role of FAO and WFP and expressed his pleasure that the funds of 40 million euros have been utilized in a good way. The funds were aptly used to rebuild communities and to provide a sustainable environment. The minister also distributed large quantities of wheat seed, fertilizer and winter vegetable seeds among the small-scale farmers of village Karsal.